Hey guys, welcome to Cozy's Kitchen, our first actual cooking video. Big round of applause for us. So today we're going to be making grown-up grilled cheeses. As you can tell from Poe here, we're going to go over the ingredients that I'm using, but if you don't want to use those ingredients, feel free to use your own. If you don't like the bread I'm using, use wheat, use pumpernickel, I don't care. You don't like the cheese I'm using, fine. You want a vegetarian, you're wrong, but go for it. So let's take a jump over to the cutting board and we'll go over the ingredients. Alright guys, so I'm using sourdough bread, but like I said, you don't have to. You can use wheat, pumpernickel, rye, marbled rye, whatever bread you like. I'm using pepper jack, Gouda, and Swiss. And then for the grown-up portion of it, we're going to be using some Guinness that I'm going to use to make drunken onions, as well as garlic. We also going to need butter for the bread. You can't make grilled cheese without toasting the bread with butter. And then I'm also going to be adding bacon to it. So those are the ingredients we're going to be using today. If you don't want to use any of those, feel free to substitute your own. Use what you want. Mess around with it. Have a little bit of fun. So now we're going to jump into the cooking over here. First, you're going to make sure you've got 2 pans. You want to get them piping hot, ready for your bacon, which we're going to drop into this larger pan. And that's the sound you want to hear. You want to hear that nice sizzle. It means the pan's nice and hot and ready to go. And then in a slightly smaller pan, I'm going to be adding a little bit of oil. To that, I'm going to drop in a nice handful of our diced onions, as well as a little spoonful of garlic. This is my favorite. Garlic goes in everything, in my opinion. Toss that a couple times, let that get going. And then once that gets nice and hot, we're going to drop a little bit of Guinness in there. You don't want to use the whole bottle because it'll drown your onions. You want to get enough to cover them, and you want to crank that and let that oil cook off. We're going to let that start going. In this pan over here, we're going to cook our bacon till it's nice and crispy in this pan. And then once those are done, we'll jump back in, setting up the sandwich itself. Now, through the magic of video, our bacon is done and our onions are just about there, nice and translucent. What I like to do with my bacon is I like to pull it out of the pan. I like to put it on a plate with a paper towel, kind of soak up the extra bacon fat on the oil that kind of comes off of it. But then what's left in the pan, I like to save. It's really good using bacon grease. It really makes eggs really good. It's really good to do homemade toast in. Hash browns, also another thing. You just a little spoonful in your pan and you're good to go. So now that that's done, we're going to jump over here to bread and we're going to start making the sandwich. Alright, So, first thing that I like to do, make sure that your butter is nice and soft. So if you have hard, cold butter, it's just gonna tear your bread, and that's not gonna work for this. So first thing after that, you take that nice soft butter, and you're gonna wanna spread just, a nice generous amount on both slices of your bread. Like so. Good amount of butter. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna throw those in your pan, butter side down so they start to toast. Just like that. So I like to make the sandwich in the pan while it's toasting. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our bacon, and we're gonna place it on one side of the bread. And yeah, that's probably a lot of bacon. No, I don't care. I like bacon. Who doesn't like bacon? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Swiss, I'm gonna put it over the top of the bacon so that when it melts, it kind of suctions the bacon to the bread so it doesn't go anywhere. The worst thing is when you bite into a sandwich and it all just shoots out the back. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some tongs, grab some of these delicious drunken onions, and I'm going to put them on the other side of bread. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this Gouda, we're going to put that over the onions, and then I'm going to take a slice of pepper jack and I'm going to put it in the center of each one of the other ones. So that when it's done, it should look like that. So you've got onions at the very bottom here on this piece of bread. I've got the Gouda, the pepper jack, and then over here I have the bacon, the Swiss, and then the other slice of pepper jack. And now what we're gonna do is a little trick that I learned is we're actually gonna add a little bit of water, which I have in these handy dandy squeeze bottles, very cheap at Walmart. Splash that, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to cover that. Now, if you have clear lids, go for it. As this is my home kitchen, I don't. So this is actually just a baking sheet that I just placed over the top. Just about 45 seconds. You can see that this one's nice and melted. If it's not melted all the way, spray a little bit more water, cover it for another 30-45 seconds. You also feel free to drink the rest of whatever you're using for your drunken onions. Now that it's nice and gooey and delicious, we're going to take a spatula and we're just going to put the two halves together, give it a nice press, and then you're just going to work on toasting the sides, making sure that they're to your preference. If you like it up a little bit crunchier, go a little bit longer. If this is good for you, take it off, enjoy. Do your thing. This is all about what you want to eat. If you like it and the people in your house like it, that's a win. Doesn't matter what Gordon Ramsay thinks, is if you like it, that's a good job. People are gonna eat it, that's what food's all about. Alright, so we're gonna give this a flip real quick. See, getting nice and toasty there. Nice little press. Give that a little bit more time. Just let it toast up real nice. We're gonna take a swig of my undisclosed beer. All right, and now I think she's done. So we are going give it a flip. Oh yeah, that's looking good. We're gonna give that right there. We're gonna take my ever handy bread knife, give it a quick cut like so, and there you have it, guys. Nice ooey gooey grown-up grilled cheeses. Those drunken onions are what make it. Thanks for tuning in for our grown-up grilled cheese episode. If you like what you see and you want to see more, feel free to like and hit that subscribe button down below. And tune in next week when we cook more delicious things in Coates's kitchen. And as always, do it for the